Hello everyone and welcome to tonight. Tonight we are around Portimao in Portugal and I am here with Brooksy and we are gonna take EU3 around the track.
Yes, right, we are. As you can probably uh, recognize my voice, it is Brooksy here in the comms booth on EU3. My old tier, I used to race here last season, so there's some drivers here that I recognize, some drivers that I'm expecting to do some wonderful things, some drivers I'm wondering who could be the quickest, who could be the slowest, some new drivers. But we are here on the intermediate conditions. It looks very wet for this qualifying session, and I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely. And Portimao is it's quite a difficult track, especially the first sector. You have that uphill left-hander, very tricky on traction, and then just the first corner as well is so easy to turn in early and then hit the Sutter's curb and then go wide. So we could see some incidents in turn one, definitely.
Absolutely correct. It's a very, very fast corner. Very trying to maintain as much speed as possible. You don't want to brake too much and lose your exit speed. But if you don't brake enough, you're going to go straight off. You're turning too quick. You're hitting the curb and sending yourself flying. It's definitely a tricky corner to get right.
Yeah, we do have Stell Show, and we do have Yeet Mix out as well. Two McLarens, they have both been phenomenal in qualifying around this tier. I think Yeet Mix has been on pole a few times, but never have converted that pole into a win. So hopefully we will see a bit of a McLaren masterclass today. Would be nice to see both McLarens do well in a race for once.
Right, we are Racer 001, the champion of EU4 last season here in the EU3. I'm not entirely sure he's on the standings. I'm going to take a quick nosy at that, but I believe he could be leading, and he is in the Ferrari. Absolutely beautiful stuff. The champion of EU4 is now leading the championship of EU3. So could it be two back-to-back championships, tier after tier? We'll have to find out. But looking at the McLaren, very tidy indeed as he gets himself round coming onto the first DRS straight, which DRS will not be enabled due to the horrific conditions out here on the track. It's not something you want to see, but it definitely makes things interesting and spruces up the order. People who are quick in the wet, this is their time to shine and get up the order in the qualifying.
Yeah, definitely, and you can just tell how they're struggling a bit with the turn-in because they've been practicing in the dry. They didn't expect the rain probably, so they will be struggling a bit with the turn-in. And you can look at that rear end of the McLaren; it's twitching and turning all over the place. So he is gonna have to just hold on for now. The track will become better at the end of qualifying, I would assume, since you get some of all the just the rain and the
Removing the
dampness of the
standing
track.
water out of the way, yeah. We know what you're saying. Get rid of all the water. So at the minute, just get the bankers out there, get a time on the table, and hopefully, with if some drivers invalidate, you never know. You could pick up a lucky spot. We see Stelso gets quickest with a 24.7. It's 5/10 gap from anybody challenging, which is Nico in the Red Bull. It's
We
lovely
have
to see. He's a great banker.
Stelzio's been on it. He struggled a bit at the start, but he's absolutely on it now. And it's great to see. I did some practice earlier with Salmon and or who is it? Lanky, and Salmon is on the pace, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there.
He is third there, takes the third position. He's only 300ths from Nico, so he could still be in the mix, definitely.
Yes,
But
indeed.
seems to be the McLarens are the ones to watch, as you say. But Yeet Mex is only in the 26 on his banker lap. I wonder if it's going again or if that's all the fuel he's got. But flashing red light could be coming into the pits, and it is. Yeet Mex goes to the pits.
Yeah, that's the thing with Portimao. It's such a long track. You use so much US. you really have to be careful with how much you use of it, as race is coming up to the line now, and that's a 25.4. So Stelzio is quite comfortable with the gap he's got for now. We have Nisula as well. He's invalidated his lap. We have Vice Boy moving up to P5. I actually don't know if he's in the attendance, but he is in the race. Um, so who else is on a lap? Blank is coming up to finish a lap, and that's a 24.9. And he said he was struggling today, so he's doing well out there. And we have Isaac in P2 as well in the Mercedes.
Everybody get your predictions in the chat. People in the chat, let us know what you think's going to happen. It is still slightly raining, which means it's not going to go full dry, I don't think, in the 10 minutes, 11 minutes we've got left. But what we could see happen is definitely a mix in the order when the track does that get that bit better. What I am looking forward for is to see the EU4. So Grelis there, the Haas of the EU4 is up into P4. And Sid, we should be expecting, is an EU4 driver, but it's not here at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him, but hopefully he does get in before the end of qualifying. And Salmon is on another lap. He's currently at 10th up through Sector 1. So he is looking to improve, as he's still on the same tires, and he's been saving here, as he's now gonna go around for another lap, coming up to a quite tricky right-hander, very difficult on traction as you're going uphill as you are turning, then into a left bend, and he is backing out of
He's
the
backed
lap.
out, he's completely backed out, yeah.
Yeah, Grealish coming up to a right-hander as Salmon gets out the way. Grealish isn't on a
could
lap.
have been the battery for Salmon. Apologies for interrupting you there. He's really down on the battery. Possibly didn't have it to finish the lap as Grelis is coming through.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said earlier. The battery is difficult to manage, even in a qualifying session, as we are in the wets. You won't use as much, but it's still quite difficult. And it is quite close, besides Stelzio in front. If you look at the gaps, we have 3 cars in 70,000 or something.
It looks that way, literally within 3 cars within 500ths of a second, should I say? 500ths of a second. So it's P2, P3, and P4 challenging each other for a P2 position, whereas Stelzio, sorry, butchering your name, it's my first time here, is comfortable still with a 2-second gap. It's a 2/10th gap, should I say. But he is coming out on an outlap, so could feel threatened. But as the track improves, the standing water gets moved out of the way, it will improve over time.
Definitely. I am following the McLaren of Heat Mix. Or has he backed out? Yeah, he's backed out. Must have made a mistake. And Isaacs now moved the barrier, and that's a 24.4. And Nisula now puts in at 24.3, so the times are moving. The track is getting better. It's not raining as much if you look closely. So Stelzio will be looking to improve, and he's 4 tenths up in the first sector alone. So he is on a flyer.
The Mercedes of Isaac has improved as well, so we could see everybody getting the mix in now. Everybody getting the laps in. The track is improving. Now is the time to get those... get the laps in at least. If not, wait maybe a couple more minutes. Just let all the cars remove what's left of the standing water, should I say, and get that track up to prime position. Which half a second up is Stelzio.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying out there, and he is looking to put in pole position tonight. So track is getting better. Nico now moving up to P1. It's very close in the front, but Stelzio will be moving the barrier if he can finish out this lap. He is gonna move up to the start-finish line now, and it is gonna be a 24.1. So 2 tenths to
Once
Nico.
again, 2 tenths. Keeps getting that 2/10th gap. Oh, the Red Bull still in the mix though. Don't count him out yet.
Definitely, you cannot count out Nico and Nisula. Both was in EU4, but they have both moved up and they are on pace. I am gonna follow Rob up to the line. Rob has been struggling in qualifying. But is he gonna improve? He is gonna improve, but it's gonna be 25.3. So he moves himself up into P10. It's not a shabby lap.
Nah, it was needed that. Definitely was down in the order at the slowest time. Gets himself up though within the top 10, should I say, or on the line of the top 10, which is definitely something that was needed to get in the fight of the race.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a point. It's a point if you can keep it for the race, and it's appreciated and needed. Oh, and Yeatmex slaps it on pole of the 23.7. Wow.
Said earlier, those McLarens are absolutely rapid in qualifying. Those guys know how to put in a fast lap on a push lap. Absolutely rapid pace from Yeatmex. So that moves Rob down into P11, and it's currently a McLaren 1-2.
As you said, the McLaren's very strong here. It's something to watch out for. It's my first time on the comms in EU3, my first time seeing first-hand the action of the McLarens, and it is a 1-2 in the qualifying session so far.
Yes, it is. Salmon is half a second up through Sector 1, purple Sector 1, and it will now move into a more technical section of the track, as you have to use the limits of the track all over the place. It's very difficult to get traction out of this corner, uphill as you're turning. You can now tell that it isn't raining anymore, so the track is gonna improve, so the last guy out will have the best conditions. Salmon staying tight, as you usually want to go a bit wider, but it works when it is the wet, braking at the white line on the right hand side, then moving all the way to the outside of the track, then over, and you have to cut in, you have to stay really so tight, really tidy. Up to the line we will go with Salmon, and is he gonna improve? He is gonna improve, and how much will it be? And it's gonna be 23.6.
Wow, yes, Salmon is up on pole position, 23.6, a 10 clear of Yeatmex. That is exactly where the Alpine wants to be. Prime position, DRS enabled. Or could we see dry runs? Is anybody going to risk it on the dry tyres? Could we see the slicks out here in this qualifying position?
Yeah, I mean, it does look really dry, so I do think the slicks are going to be the try to be on for the last run. Someone has just gone out of the pits, and that's Isaac. He's on the inters, so he doesn't think that the track is gonna improve enough for the slick tires. He wants to be out there for maybe 2 laps of running.
There is an incredible dry line coming out of Lagos up through turn 4 onto the first DRS straight. It looks fairly dry enough for a slick tire, but the rest of the track is still touch and go with the intermediate tyres, especially from my perspective. There are dry lines in some corners, wet in some corners. It's hard to say. There's still a bit of spray, but oh,
Yeah, it's really
a risky
tight.
call.
Yeah, it is really tight, and it is gonna be very close. It was the same 2 weeks ago in Miami in EU2. Rain stopped, track was drying, and it's gonna be if you want to take the risk or not. So Andre is on a lap. He is purple through Sector 2.
DRS has really helped them to get themselves set up out of Sector 2 with the straight speed that they're attacking the start of Sector 2 with. So let's see whether the driver can put the Haas. He's in the pits. He's swapping to dries. I think he's going to swap it to dries.
Yes, indeed. And Griffin has put it on P1, 23.4. And if you go on board with Griffin, you can see it is basically dry now. So their time will not be anything to scream about. uh, basically entirely dry around the track now, so Griffin might be in trouble as he is out on track. Isaac out on track as well, invalidated his time, but it's definitely completely dry now. It is the soft tires, but you do need to warm
Williams
them up.
of Ty Clear is out on the softs.
Yeah, you can watch the grip, you can watch how much speed he can carry. And
Oh,
look
it's
at that rear
completely
end.
dry.
Yes, it is indeed. Look at the rear end. It's so steady compared to when it was in the wets. And he's now
So
gonna come
much
up to
for it.
some traffic with Griffin up ahead. Will Griffin stay out the way? Yes, he will. Very good. And now Ty up to the line. He will be the first one to set a time on the slick tires. And it will be a P1 with a 23.4.
Not a massive improvement, not a big as gap as we'd like to see, but Grelis is out and starting the DRS. So this is somebody I'm looking at who could be a potential challenger. He goes purple in sector 1.
As you are following Grish, I am following Nico. Nico is flying. He was purple as well. Lanky puts it on P1 for now. It is provisional P1 for the Ferrari. And it is at 21.2. Will we see anyone move the barrier even more? We probably will. Nico is 2 seconds up. Moving into the last sector.
Quarter mile right now, coming down the second. Oh, a bit of a snap, but kept it tidy. It's a purple second sector. Going round the final knot of the tightest hairpins, and then through Sagres. I butcher the pronunciation, but I do not know it. Oh no! Grelis is off! He's completely dropped it. Coming through turn 13, he's off the track. He was looking good for a pole position, and Nico slaps it on pole over 20.7. The Haas is off on the gravel. It's all tears. Grelis will be starting in P12.
Yes, indeed. Nico is on the provisional P1. Stelzio is out there. He's purple in sector 1. He will be looking to make it a McLaren 1-2 if he can. He will be pushing. He will be fighting for that provisional pole position spot as he's looked really, really good in qualifying this far. Will he put it on provisional pole? We don't know yet as he's still coming around the corners.
Craig Jones and up to Portimao through the horrible inclines of this part of the track, up and down. Purple second sector going into the final hairpin 13, trying to keep it tight, coming through 14 with a good exit. Bit of grass, but keeps it nice and tidy. Finally trying to keep it flat and tight once again to maximise exit speed. Don't put too much steering angle in and put too much load on. And Stelzo goes 19.5. It's pole.
Yes, it is indeed.
Checkered flags.
Checkered flag is out. Yeatmix is 2.5 tenths up as well. So Yeatmix will try and put it on. And we do have some guys further down, and it will be just behind his teammate. We have Rob out there as well. Almanac moves the barrier to a 19.3. Caxel!
Which Caxel? Oh, it's an Alpha Tauri 1-2, 19 flat. Can you believe it?
And Rob has split. Oh! Razor!
Oh!
Nisula as well. The barrier has been completely moved at the end of qualifying.
This just happened. In the final few seconds of qualifying, everybody's been knocked down the order. Nisula takes pole. Lewis, is on P2. Caxel P3. Alpha Tauris take the second row. Oh, Andres P5. What is... The barrier got completely flipped on its head.
Yes,
Order
it did.
has been completely flipped in the final few seconds. Wow, interesting. Well done, boys.
Yeah, really interesting to see 4 different constructors in the top 5. And even Rob being up there, he's usually struggling a bit in qualifying, but he's found some pace, so that's good to see. He was one of the last ones out, but he has been struggling a bit lately, and he will be looking to improve.
Oh, Nisoulis has 0 ERS on the last lap and still managed to get that far up. Impressive.
As we will have a dry race, it looks like. Hopefully, it will be dry. It was for constructor, yes, BK.
I know as the drivers are setting the strategies and working out the fuel, trying to think, what should I do? Should I go long on the hards? Do I start on the mediums? Do I risk it on the softs and pray for a safety car? All fateful questions, but please put your predictions in the chat. And now is a good time to get yourself signed up in the Discord if you are not already. You could be a part of this racing action. You never know what tier you could be placed in. It could be here, EU2, EU1. It all depends on your pace, but all paces are considered. You never know until you sign up. And if you are from down under in the Oceanic region, get yourself signed up as a tier is coming your way. But the lights are on. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go.
We definitely are away, and we see some movement. We see Stelshow moving up. We see too wide by Caxo and Racer into turn 1. Almanac trying around the outside, going a bit off track. We then have Stelshow trying to make a move on the Ferrari. Yidmik staying behind. It is a line of stir. We do have some cars spitting around in the background. I don't think anyone has spun yet, thankfully. And it is very tight.
Been fairly clean. I'm seeing the Alpina Griffin. It's 2 cars, 2 lots of battles going in through the hairpin at the back of the grid. Very nice indeed, side by side. But it looks like the Alpines got past Wisey Boy. And Wisey Boy trying to defend against the Haas of Grelis, but Grelis is getting his way through. It's a disaster for Wisey Boy. Dropping down the order, lost 2 positions in 2 corners.
Yes, it is. And that is the thing around here. One mistake and you open up to the rest of the guys behind. Isaac has fallen back quite a bit.
Oh, contact between an Aston Martin and a Williams. That would be the Mons himself, but he's managed to keep himself going fairly well. I'm hoping there's not too much damage though. And keep himself going tidy in the race. We see cars going side by side on the main straight.
And I will put up some tires so we can talk about the tire strategies as well. And we do have the top 2 on the soft tires. Then it's mediums for the guys behind. Then it's softs for Yeatmix. So the McLarens have switched around.
Oh, disaster! Very slow going into turn 1. Oh, Aston Martin falling down the order, letting through a couple cars. We're a bit stopped for a second. Sorry to interrupt you, but there was some spicy action going on there.
Yeah, and we have some spicy action behind as well. Lanky being fought by the Haas behind. We then have
them all side by side into the hairpin. Beautiful stuff.
Absolutely. Viceboy wants to get past again. He is up the inside into a corner. You normally don't want to go side by side in. Then Goran is being pushed by the Salmon. Salmon is wide and he's now been dropped down. And he's almost out of DRS. Oh, Rob and Nico are fighting. Rob is falling behind quite a bit. He is on the slower tires, so you would expect to see that compared to the softs up ahead. He is being attacked by soft runners behind. Oh, getting a snap through the last corner. You don't normally want to see that.
Red Bull fighting his way through on the main straight. Oh no! What was that? Was that a switch from Mons? It was getting through.
Absolutely beautiful.
Fighting back on the Red Bull. Can he get it through into turn 1, turn 2? No, he can't. The Red Bull fighting back against the Williams keeps the position. Nico doing well to defend against the Williams and Rob Star, but Rob could be going for it again. No, has a nosy, keeps his nose out of it. Still very close up to the Red Bull. As we see
Yes,
the
indeed.
Ferrari of Lanky One going for it.
Yeah, Grillis is attacking, or he is being attacked. He's now up into P10. Grillis is. He's now gonna attack the Williams up ahead. Rob is just all around soft tires, so he is gonna struggle to make to keep his position, but he isn't gonna let them by, but he doesn't need to fight them that hard, as he will have the advantage later on in the stint.
Oh, we have a bit of a gap. So we have the front two of Nisula and Twitch Caxel. They're the only two that are away with the lead. Almanac keeping it steady with a 2-second gap in third, with 3 cars chasing. Then a big gap by 3 seconds. Looking on, there's a Ferrari of Lanky One coming dangerously close to Grillis, but doesn't get his nose into it.
Salmon moving up past Andre. He will now
Grillis having a look on the Williams of Rob. Going through turns 3 of Lagos, up the hill of turn 4, but stays behind using the DRS. Can he get the move done? Moves it up, diving into the hairpin ahead. The DRS advantage. Rob going for a switchback. Oh, Grillis defending the line perfectly.
yeah, it's very spicy. You can tell that some people are on different tires, and it is quite difficult to then know how much to defend and how much to fight the position, because you don't want to just give the position up, but you don't want to just sweep them through as well.
Nico's just got through on Mons, but Mons is no side-by-side fighting it back, coming through turn 12 and 13, still side-by-side through 13. What's going to happen? Who's out on top? Is it going to be the Aston or the Red Bull? The Red Bull switching it to the inside line, trying to get the advantage. Very, very good racing here. There's the Aston sending it through, coming out on top. Wow. Lovely stuff from EU3.
Yes, it is indeed. And now Nico's got the DRS. He's gonna move past, and Munch is gonna be attacked from Grillis behind. So Grillis making a places. Grillis is on the inside. Now into turn 2, he will send it.
Big send into turns 2 and 3, keeping it up on the Aston Martin. The Haas doing bits in the reserve.
And Munch getting a 3-second time penalty early on in the race. That will hurt him later on. And Rob does look a bit more comfortable now, as the tires have gotten into a bit more of a rhythm. And Lanky is still close behind, so he cannot relax. And he is sending it down the inside of Munch. That's a very unusual place to send it, but he almost made it work. Munch is struggling for pace right now. So Rob is all over the back of him. You can see that the subs are dropping off a bit already. As
Mons starting to struggle. Rob has a look to the inside. Just backs out of it. He knows when and where to do it, and that wasn't the place. Needs to be smart about this. It's clear that the Aston Martin's tyres are dying off. So now we'll have the DRS advantage. Can he make it work? Mons also will have the DRS. What is going to happen? Grillis still trying to chase a Red Bull and Nico.
yes, indeed. And you can, if you just look at Munch, he's losing so much time all over the place just because he's not able to carry the same speed. So he might be struggling a bit with tire temps as well. Tire temps are a bit struggle around here, as it is such a big train for the P7 positions here. Rob
Just
almost
about to
losing
point
it.
it out that we've got a train now that the gap is no longer as large. Everybody's within the DRS. The only person who doesn't have DRS is Nico for P7, who will be feeling the pressure of being attacked by the reserve Haas, and also with the fight for P9 between Rob and Mons. Lanky, Isaac, Wisey Boy, all trying to get themselves into the fight. Everybody's chasing the points. It's all there in front of them. They can smell it. They just need to fight for it.
Definitely. And if you look at the gap between Rob and Lanky, it's so tight all the time, but Lanky just isn't able to get the exit. And now Rob is gonna be all over the back of Munch. Munch made a bit of a mistake going on to the straight. Got a big snap off the rear. Almanac getting past. Oh, Almanac has had contact.
Grelis has got past. So it's now the Haas without DRS. What can happen? The pack has slowed down slightly with Almanac having a bit of contact, but it's not slowed down enough to put P7 and that mighty train up and closing the gap for what could be P5 and P4. So it seems, and P3 even, but it is a spicy battle indeed that's going on ahead.
Yes, it is. And if they keep fighting and Grelis and Nico is able to work together, they might just catch up to these guys, as the leader of this train
Gap
is on
has
the soft
dropped.
tires.
Gap has dropped by half a second. It was 3 seconds. It's now 2.5. Grelis, and that mighty train is catching. Mons is a second behind Nico. He's lost the DRS. What could happen here?
And if you look at the gaps, it's 3/10 all the way down. Absolutely incredible scenes here in EU3. Really tight racing, and now Rob will be on it. He will try and get past on the straight now because he needs to catch up to the guys up ahead. Racer is moving past Yeetmix. Yeetmix is gonna try and get out the way for his teammate. That is well done by the McLarens, as the tires of that McLaren is gonna drop off. Rob not being able to do it for now. He is really closely behind, and Grelis and Nico staying in position as they are gaining.
Side by side, Lanky's getting a bit under a bit of pressure from the Mercedes, but manages to keep his position as Rob sending it one on Mons and gets past the Aston Martin in the hairpin. Oh, he gets a bit squirrely on the exit though. Keeps the position just as the Mons Aston Martin followed him with a bit of a back end spin.
Yeah, and you can see the gap he's already putting on. So those soft tires on the Aston Martin are dying off quite quickly, and Lanky behind will now try and get past as well.
Grelis closing that gap by another second. It's 1.5 now behind Almanac.
Yeah, and Almanac has dropped off from the pack ahead, so he might be struggling a bit. He did have a bit of a spin, and he then also had a bit of contact, so he might even have damage on the front wing of that car. Stelzio is now going to move up into P3, and he is on the medium tires, and I think Racer is too. Yes, he is. So these two will be trying to catch up ahead. Nico moving past Grelis, and
Rob under attack by Mons, but manages to keep it fairly well. Sorry, Grelis, trying to get on the attack, but doesn't get there. All fighting for positions down the entire order of the field. Interesting stuff, spicy stuff. EU3, you're doing yourself proud. Keep it going.
yes, indeed. And Lanky, touching the back of Munch there, and now ghosting as well, as he did slow down quite a bit from that, and he will now be under attack from Isaac behind. Isaac is sending it up the inside, and he will move past Lanky, as Isaac is, or will he?
No.
He is fighting back.
Lanky fighting it back, going through Craig Jones up into Portimao, coming back down through turn 12, fast as they can, and Isaac is still ahead, manages to keep the position. Lanky needs to fight it back. What can he do? Oh no, it's not coming out to the favour of the Alpine. Salmon's on the back of Lanky, but the Mercedes now fighting the Aston Martin of Mons. All happening here for the final point position of the order in the first stint. What's going to happen? Can the Alpine make his way through and get past all three? I don't know if it's going to happen or is it to be, but we can certainly find out. It's not. Oh,
That's contact.
No! The Alpine has got front wing damage. The Mercedes on the brakes. Alpine hits the back. Oh no! Crikey, boys, you make it interesting indeed. But that's Salmon now potentially out of the fight. What can he do in this part of the race? He'll definitely have to box for a wing, but what's the strategy from here? 23 laps to go. Is it Is it doable on the hards? Could it be done?
It definitely can be done. We are on the hardest compound of tire around here. It is actually the C0 if I am not wrong. So the hard tires last really long. They they do feel quite good, even with quite a bit slow. Even though they are quite a bit slow, so you do want to avoid them quite a bit. But if it's the only option, they are a decent tire to go for.
Relis is within the DRS.
Oh, look at that. Almanac and Nico fighting. Almanac
This
not giving
is
up this position up without a fight.
Grealish right into the fight, and he's getting the move on the Red Bull. Can he get it done? He's had to back out of that with a squirrely Red Bull, but he's going for it with the DRS. Got a beautiful exit. Gets it done. Absolutely incredible. EU4 reserve in the EU3 is showing why he should be here. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, it is really well done by the guys. We have 3 cars into the pits, all 3 cars with damage after contact into turn 1. We do have quite a few soft runners still out there on the soft tires, so the soft tires still feel great. Oh, not great. Oh, Grealish!
Oh, Grealish, 3 seconds.
That's the thing, it is
That's
really easy to get 3 seconds around here. The track invites understeer with all the elevation and camber all over the place.
Nico. Oh! Oh, that was a better exit than Grealish. He's coming down fairly quickly. Nico fighting back for P7. Doesn't get it done. Grealish is just too far ahead, and with the DRS doesn't lose as much speed. He's looking for a... Oh, he's very slow though, Grealish. Going through turn 3 of Lagos. Cost him some time. Could have opened the door for the Red Bull. The Red Bull moves out of the slipstream. Probably trying to cool that engine down.
Yes, indeed.
But bit of patience, I see. Bit of patience waiting for the time and a place.
Yeah, those soft tires are gonna be struggling now. Almanac is on the mediums. He must have damage after that contact early on in the race. Nothing I can see on the car, but he was following the pack up ahead quite easily, and now he's dropped back quite a bit. Isaac got past Rob, and Rob is now falling out of the DRS slowly. So Rob is struggling a bit on his tires, but Munch isn't able to catch up as Munch is on the soft tires. We do have Nisule out in front. He's just doing his job on the soft tires.
4
Caxel
seconds,
as well.
almost 4 seconds clear of Caxel. So I'm not sure if Caxel's had a moment or if the tyre deck for Caxel could be slightly higher than Nisula. But they were fighting within a second for the first, I don't know, I want to say 6 laps, 7 laps of the race. It was noticed, but now it's just Nasula's one on their own and has gapped Caxel by almost 4 seconds.
Yeah, it is incredible. And I mean, they're patient up at the front of the field. They're not overtaking. They're just staying behind. They're playing the long game. They're being really smart with the way they're acting as the drivers behind are fighting Viceboy and Munch. Viceboy trying to make the move work around the outside, now turning to the inside, and he's now ahead.
Oh, flashing light, the battery just under 10% to get that move done. Maybe Mons is happy seeing that and can realise that, oh, if I send one with a DRS, he can't defend. Which is exactly what I would be thinking in that Aston Martin.
Contact between Almanac and Nico into the last part of the track, and Nico is now out of the DRS. We do see someone pinning. It is Caxel. Caxel is into the pits. He will now be moving down as he will try and get the undercut. As now,
Oh, he started
Grealish
the pit
is
stop
in.
rain. That's it. Cars are jumping into the
Grealish!
pits.
5 seconds going into the pits.
No, no, no. You're my EU4 championship leader. What are you doing? Come on, Grealish. Oh, it's a double stack for Almanac, but it looks like it should be done fairly quickly, serving a penalty, I think. Oh no, it's a wing change for Almanac, so you was correct. There was some damage there.
Yeah, he wasn't that slow, and suddenly he just dropped off massively. So that mistake really did cost him a lot of time. You can see him now being behind Griffin, who pitted on the first lap after some contact. Yeah, I mean, Griffin will need to pit again though. So you should see Almanac moving past him quite quickly.
Nasula will have to pit to cover off the box of Caxel. Doesn't want Caxel to get too big of an undercut, and Nasula it dives into the pits, comes off that soft compound tyre. It's on 13 laps of the race. A very good stint indeed.
Yeah, and if you look at Yeet Mix is still out on those soft tires, so they're doing a really good job on those tires, and they're keeping them alive. I'm really impressed with the pace of Yeet Mix tonight.
This, I think that Yeatmex could be a bit of a guinea pig for his teammate. The longer he can go on the softs, the better it'll be realistically in terms of Steljo, because keeping the pressure on the car. Oh, racer's getting through though. Bit of a battle there. Racer is through and takes the lead of the race. Sent it one on the McLaren and gets through. Beautiful stuff indeed. But as I was saying, if Yeatmex can keep going on the softer tyres and keep the pressure on the Ferrari, it helps Steljo massively in terms of keeping the mediums going for longer, so you can use the softer tyres for longer. But Racer is also on the same strategy. So now it's will he follow Racer into the pits if Racer was to pit?
Yeah, I mean, that would be the obvious choice, wouldn't it? And I think what Yeatmix is trying to do there, they're trying to hold it out so they can go on the medium tires. As they're still in the DRS, and that's impressive when you think about he's been on those tires for
Yeatmex
16
again.
laps.
Another lap, Yeatmex, another lap.
And into the pits, Rob goes. Voice boy wanted to follow him in. Oh, Rob, not 5 seconds into the pits.
Come on, boys, it's not too difficult to enter the pit lane. If my EU4 boys can do it, why can't you?
Yeah, I mean, people are pitting for the mediums, so the mediums do fare quite well, and you do see Caxel has gained quite a bit. He's gained almost 2 seconds with that undercut, so those tires were absolutely dead before. So they're gonna stay out for now and try and see if they can make it work.
We're now at the part of the race where the strategies come into play, where the gaps start to open up and close up depending on pit strategies. So now we should see everybody start to seriously get in the race, fighting for position, because it will be for position as we now enter the pit windows. I love this part of the race. This is where you seriously see some grinding, some heavy pushing. Yeatmex into the pits, getting off those soft tyres. It's 16 laps on them. And what a stint it was. So it'll be 16 on the softs, 16 on the mediums for Yeatmex.
And if you look at Weissebo has held up Nisula so much, and he's now gonna move past him again because Nisula overtook him in the last part of the track. So that has brought Caxel into play. And look at Caxel, he's gonna try and move up the inside, but
oh, what's going on? No, Wisey Boy forced off the track by Nasula. Was it a force off or was it just some hard racing? Oh, we should certainly find out in a few days' time if the stewards posted in the penalties. Ooh.
yeah, a bit aggressive by Nisula there. I think he might have been a bit frustrated that he was stuck behind a car on slower tires. So a bit of frustration in the race net leader. Have to put that out there. He's the race net leader. Yeatmix is out of the pits, just behind Graylis, and got Nico behind. So Yeatmix has lost out a bit, but they will move up.
Frustration definitely would be there as whatever happened with Nasula and Wisey Boy let Caxel right back up behind. It was almost a 4 second gap before the pit stops. Caxel going for the undercut has come out and is now within a second of Nasula, but Nasula's going past Isaac with the DRS. So if Isaac on the slower 17 lap old mediums is in front of Caxel. Caxel needs to get past now on the next DRS. Doesn't want to be held up for too long and lose the DRS on Nasula. Is he going to go for it? Can he send it one? Is the Mercedes going to defend it? We'll find out. He's gone for it and the Alpha Tauri is through. But has lost out on the DRS as it's 1.3 seconds to Nasula.
And Jeetmix now moving past Greedis. And will he make it work? They will be side by side going up into this section. So for now, Jeetmix will have to stay in line. Griffin fighting with Salmon. The two Alpines don't want to be fighting, but they are fighting. So a bit of entertainment between those two. Lanky behind Almanac. Keeping pace quite nicely, Lanky is.
I'm currently on board with Yeatmex, who's giving it some to Grelis on the fresher medium tyres. Grelis on 4 lap old, Yeatmex on the fresh 1 lap old mediums. So even with that slight tyre advantage and with the McLaren being absolutely on pace today, you can see how much quicker he is coming on the exit. Using the DRS now, trying to send it down the main straight, past the pits as he passes his teammate who's coming out for the soft run of Stelzio, as I sort of predicted. And now there, the McLaren goes through on Grelis, coming through Lagos and up turn 4 onto the second DRS straight. Grelis with the rear wing wide open. Could we see Grelis try and fight it back? But he's just not close enough as we get into the hairpin into turn 5. Coming through. Nice and easy. So that will be a secure position for Yeatmex unless the Haas Grelis has something to say about it and can put the hammer down and stay within the second DRS.
Yeah, and now look at that. The gap between Nisula and Caxo is opening up a tiny bit again. I think it's been 2 tenths this lap. And now Nico and Grealish will be pushing to get within Yeatmix's DRS. Especially Nico, he's falling off a bit.
Nisula taking the lead once again as races into the pits. Caxel now almost 2 seconds out of the way. So it is Nasula with the speed advantage, just faster in general around the track, just has a better feel for it, just a better sense of drive, better racing line. He's just out driving Caxel and gaining the gap. But again, the Alpha Tauri being on a podium position is absolutely fantastic in terms of points.
Yeah, and I just went on. Oh, Rob, not 3 seconds as well.
Oh, Rob, the penalties are racking up.
So I went on to look at the tires. Rob is on the hards, Almanac is on the hards, but I do see Race and Stelzio is on the soft tires, so they're trying to make this work. Yeah, I mean, I think Yeatmix did like 16, 17 laps on the soft tires, so it is possible to make them work. But will they have the pace at the end? As Race has already caught up to Nico, so those soft tires are working. Nico is struggling a bit for pace for now. On those 6 lap old medium tires.
Yep, Nico now getting chased by the Ferrari of Racer, who has come out on the fresh soft tyres, doing an almighty stint on the mediums. Kept them going for quite a while, and will now have the utmost advantage on the freshest soft tyres of the entire grid.
Yes, definitely.
Up into P5, beautifully done as he comes around turn 3, Lagos up into turn 4. Trying to maximise the exit, get as much distance as you can from the Red Bull, and this does break the second. on the straight, even with the Red Bull having DRS on that straight. He's now 1 second ahead.
Yeah, the tire advantage is incredibly huge when you are on the harder compounds of tire. So that's why the difference is so big between the tire compounds. They will fade into each other later on in the race, but I do believe it will be too late, because look at Racer, he's absolutely flying on those soft tires. Grealish has been knocked out of the DS of Heat Mix, and Racer is now within. And look at the gap just going down instantly under 1 second, and he will now be attacking the Haas.
So it seems. I do need to call out or apologise. Williams got disconnected, I didn't notice, and is apparently ghosted on the grid. Hi, Clear, I don't have you. You didn't add me as a friend. What are you going to do? Oh, he did. I apologise. Let's get you back in. You're not so far up the grid, but you've got an invite.
That can happen. Grealish has been overtaken by Racer, and Racer will now take the sides on to the McLaren of Heatmix. Heatmix is on fresher mediums than these two guys, so Racer might have a bit of a more difficult time getting past, as the gap does stay the same for now. Heatmix is out of ERS though, as the rear is blinking quite a bit. So
Oh, that's not so good. He is sort of stuck between 9 and 10% ERS, trying not to burn it, which Racer, being the experienced driver, as we know, last season's champion. Rimi Kaikkonen, you need to join the Discord. Get yourself in, because this is a league race, my friend. So if you want to be a part of this, you need to get yourself in the Discord, get a pace test done, get yourself signed up, and you'll be placed in a tier that's suited on your pace. The pace test is very easy. Doesn't even take 20 minutes. You just do 25% race under certain conditions. You pit on a specific lap or in a specific track under specific weather conditions, and send your time in, and we will judge you from that. It is what it is.
and I just saw Nisula got a 3-second time penalty. Kaxu doesn't have one, and he is close to being within those 3 seconds, and it will now motivate Kaxu to maybe push a bit more and get closer, as Racer now have caught up to Eat Mix. And Rimi Kaikkonen, please do join. If you want to, you can rewatch the race after. It has been a thrilling race. Mighty battles all over the field. At the front, at the back, in the midfield, all over the place, battles all the time. It has been action from lap 1. So Racer now getting past Eatmix, and
Yeah,
Eatmix will try and just stay within the DRS, because that will be the most important thing for his race. Does have a 3-second time penalty, but if he can stay within and Racer does pick it up, it might help him out later on in the race.
This is huge in terms of
Oh, Almanac has been off.
championship. Almanac off. Almanac off.
Oh, Almanac has spun as well. He sent it into the hairpin, now lost it as he touched Lanky. And now Rob being attacked by Lanky. Side by side, Rob is on the hard tires. Those tires will be quite slow. As I said earlier, they are the hardest compound of tires we do have available in the F1 game. So if Rob can just stay within, he might be able to pick up a point later on, as everyone behind him does have penalties.
He still Coming very close to Nico with the DRS. Can he get the move done? It looks like Nico could be draining the battery to defend. And I think he was, because Stelzio didn't make too much progress in terms of time coming up on Nico, even with the DRS, but it's closed the gap up now for the first. Oh no, Nico getting a bit slidey then on the exit. Oh, manages to save it well and maintain that gap and not lose too much time.
And we do have a yellow flag. I don't know what that was for. Someone has maybe spun the car. But it is all cleared now. No retirements so far this race. Very great to see. Oh, Nico's almost losing it on traction again. And Celsius is right behind. He's trying to put on the pressure. He is on the soft tires, but he also has a lot of battery in the tank. As I was on board with him not so long ago. I think he had like 80-90% of ERS, and it's a massive advantage to have. Not only is he on the softer tires, but the ERS advantage is huge around here, as you do lose the ERS quite quickly.
As we're coming round, Nico now must try and defend against the McLaren, but it's like McLaren's not close enough. See, there's a Haas in the pits. Is that Grelis?
It is Grelis. He's into the pits. He's serving his 5-second penalty, and he's now moving on to the soft tires. What is the strategy? I don't understand the strategy from Grelis.
Could be a smart move. Dropping 5 seconds and getting on soft tires now, giving it a full send as hard as you can to try and gain as many positions as you can. It's only 4 positions away from points. So, judging from where it is there on the map, it's... Oh yeah, 3 seconds. No, this really takes the pressure off the Red Bull of Nico. That's not what the McLaren wanted. Both McLarens have got penalties.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and Isuda still got the penalty, but look at the gap. He's just opened it up even more. I mean, it's not that Kaxu is a lot slower. It's like he's slower by 2 to 3 tenths. And if he was able to stay within the airs early on in the race, he might have been in for the fight, for the win. So it's such close margins.
Absolutely. Nasula just has that the fine margin pace advantage, and is just able to put it in consistently, and the gap just grows bigger and bigger every lap. But the Mercedes of Goran has been lapped by the race leader of Nasula. Something we normally see in EU4 is lapped cars. I'm quite surprised I'm seeing one here. It must be a shocking race for Goran. Must have been incidents, spinnings, you never know. Oh no, he's in AI. Is that AI?
Yeah, he is in an AI.
Oh, you didn't say anything in the Discord. I have missed somebody in the Discord.
Oh, Rob and Almanac touching. And now Rob is being pushed onto the grass, and
Almanac with the flashing light.
Yeah, Almanac might be a bit frustrated. Ty isn't in yet, so he's still ghosted, but he's right behind these guys. So he's ghost car.
Invite. He said in the Discord that it's too late now. He's not happy, so I apologise, but taking into consideration, I'm normally the streamer. I'm not normally the guy that sends invites and does co-coms.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is a bit of a different job, isn't it?
It's definitely a different job. You're more focused on the race, trying to make sure you get all the action and see everything, rather than make sure everybody's in the session. This is new to me, but hopefully it won't happen again. I'll learn from my mistakes. So apologies on that, my friend.
Yeah, and Stelzio now has gotten past Nico.
The AI is having a bit of a nosy on Rob.
Oh, Munch retired. Oh, that's in the pits.
That's enough for Mons today, although we would like you to finish the race. It's only 5 laps, mate. Should have finished, unless you had something drastic happen. Then you had to go and run and save somebody's life. Just finish the 5 laps.
Yes, indeed. Agrell is now moving past Rob. Rob has fallen down quite a bit, but yeah, I don't think he made the right strategy call to start with, and that's just put him out of position the entire race, unfortunately.
Absolutely indeed. Put him out. It's not where he wants to be, but there is quite a tight difference through the order. There's Nasula 14 laps and Caxon 15 laps. Racer with 9 lap old softs. Estelzo 10 lap softs. Of Isaac and Wisey Boy on 8 lap old softs. Drivers on 17 lap olds, 14 lap old hards. The tyres are all over the show. So the pace advantages on some drivers with the fresher tyres are going to be absolutely massive around here now, especially in the last final few laps of the race.
Yeah, I'm looking at the McLarens. They have just swapped positions and still should now try and make the gap work, as Edmix has fallen back quite a bit. Nico is right behind Edmix, and they will be fighting. So Stelzio might be able to get the gap out ahead. Stelzio still had a bit of battery in the tank, and he still does have the tire advantage in the soft tires, as he is on lower fuel now, so he will make them work longer than everyone before him.
Nico's getting dangerously close to the McLarens.
Yes, he
Oh,
is
he's
indeed.
passed one. That could have been a DRS strategy. Oh, did Yeatmex just pull DRS tactics and let the Red Bull through?
Could be smart to do, and he is now gonna go past again.
Yep, that was a little 200 IQ to get himself the DRS and save himself the position, keep himself into P5. Every point matters, but the Red Bull of Nico is all over the back of the McLaren. He's not letting that go easy. We'll have the DRS now onto the first DRS straight off the lap. It's not a very long one, but it's enough to give you just the right amount of speed to get a nice little dive to the inside of that hairpin if you play it correctly as they come through now. No, the Red Bulls had to back out of it, lose some time. It's getting dangerous, the dirty air, especially as the tyres are wearing away. But he's still trying to stay as close as he can. Coming over the top of Portimao corner now. The slight contact and he's off the track. Gets it back on safely and doesn't lose too much of a distance to the McLaren. But that has allowed Stelzio to gain a 2-second gap over on his teammate. But he should slow it down and try and give the DRS to Yeatmex in order to save his teammate that 5th position. He slowed down. Yeatmex has completely conceded position once again. It's DRS tactics yet again. But he doesn't have the battery to do anything more, so it's the only thing he can do.
He's gonna have to back out of that, and he did back out way too much on the straight. And now, if you look at Grealish, he's now fighting Lanky, but he has dropped more time than he would if he didn't pit. But that's his call to make. Robstar retiring in the pits. He's done for today. He's maybe a bit unhappy. And now Nico and Yeatmix fighting after
With
the hairpin.
2 laps to go, brother, and Grealish is through on Lanky one.
That's
another position for Grealish. The strategy to go on the softs has paid off. He's back in the points and made up one more position than I expected. I expected him to pass 4 cars. He's passed 5. What a way to do it.
Nico down the inside in the last sector. Yeatmix and him are having an absolutely amazing scrap. And now Yeatmix will go past. He will get the DRS again. So playing the DRS tactics, yes. But it is inviting Isaac behind to close in to the McLaren. He's now moving past.
Flashing Red Bull and McLaren, flashing lights. It's a disco. But it's all going to come down to DRS, I think, at this point. However, it is opening the door for Isaac to come and have a tussle, but he has a penalty. And so does Yeatmex. But It's allowed the teammate of Stelzor to get a 4 second gap now, which, if I just take a quick second to look at the penalties, is what he needs to maintain fourth position against the Red Bull.
Yes, it is indeed, and it's absolutely amazing to see the teamwork between two drivers to make the most out of a bad situation. Stelzio has been a bit off pace. He did pit earlier than Racer onto the softs, and he's now 14 seconds behind Racer. So he has struggled quite a bit on those tires, and Gredis is now past Viceboy, so he's now up into P8.
Beautiful stuff. Another position gained. He's now gained 2 more than I predicted, proving me wrong once again. Yeetmex this time stays ahead of the Red Bull. I think the Red Bull was going slower, expecting the DRS tactics, but no, he's getting very close. He's Nico. He's going to send it to the outside around the McLaren into turn 1. Makes it stick indeed. What is going to happen? Can the McLaren fight it back into turn 3? He's very close, but they're coming up onto the first DRS of this part of the track. It looks fairly decent indeed, but the Red Bull maintains the position and stays ahead of the McLaren into the hairpin on the exit. Oh, beautiful stuff indeed. It's interesting to see Yeetmex not using the DRS tactics that time, but this is where things are thrown out all on the line. Nico could have more battery than Yeetmex. I think he does. He does, so it's not by much, but it's enough to defend. If he can just save it all to the last part of the track and then burn it on the last corner, he'll maintain that 5th position. But that does keep McLaren into the P4 as Yeetmex defending like a lion. The McLaren has been absolutely massive through the final few laps of this race. Coming down, this is it, all on the line. It looks like the Red Bull's going to be the one who prevails. It is. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful.
that is some beautiful driving by these drivers, and I miss Nasuda going over the line, but you had such a great battle for P5 between the Red Bull and the McLaren. Absolutely stunning to see, and it's been a pleasure to commentate this race, as everyone has been very clean.
Oh. Speculation in the paddock. Back in the Discord chat, there is speculation. I don't think Nico saw that as how we saw it. We saw it as DRS tactics. Nico's seen it as potential brake checking. Controversy in the paddock. Interesting stuff, interesting stuff. That will make your race order for today as we get through to the grid. Show us what we want to see. Nisula takes the victory away with quite a lead. Caxel up into P2 and Racer in P3 making the podium slots. It's what the Ferrari needs. He's in the championship lead and needs to stay there. Stelzor, McLaren, Nico of the Red Bull and Yeetmex putting up quite a good fight towards the end of that part of the race, using strategy and teamwork to keep the Red Bull at bay from seizing P4. Mercedes of Isaac, Haas, Reserve of Grelis, a Wisey Boy and Lanky One make up the remainder up to 10, and that will do the points positions indeed. What a race it has been. As we try and get on to, are we doing the interviews, Hako?
We will most definitely be doing the interviews.
The interviews are coming your way. Stay tuned for that. You could try and send out the invites, my friend. I don't have access, I don't think. Or do I? I do not. I cannot invite them to the comms booth. Oh. For once,
I
the
will be
power is
inviting.
out of my control. For once, I'm in a different position. I'm normally the cameraman. It felt strange today.
So Nisula being added, and who was the last one? I forgot. It was
Hmm.
Caxel.
Caxel, Nasula, and Lewis, which is Racer 001.
Yes, I will let you do the interviews, and I will be muted while you're doing that.
No, where's my friend? With no one in the booth as of yet. Get yourselves in the booth. Are you doing your interviews? Get in here. We've been invited. We have Caxel so far, which is the second place podium sitter. We're currently awaiting to see if the other two drivers would like to get in. Hopefully they do. We'll give them a couple more seconds. Doesn't work today, says Nasula. So we will not have the race winner for an interview. So we'll start on with Caxel of P2 and hopefully we'll get Racer. Racer is in, never mind. We'll start with the Racer in P3. How are we doing, buddy? Can you hear us? Are you there? Racer, Racer. Oh, how the hell? Oh, there's life.
Racer, we can hear you, by the way.
We could hear him. I don't know if you can hear us. Do we have issues in the comms booth? Technical issues in the comms booth. I'm not entirely sure. We'll get on with you then, Caxel, for P2 while Racer sorts out his current issues. How are you feeling, my friend? Nice to get up onto the podium. Is this your first podium this season?
No, I went in Spa, didn't I?
Oh, you did. You won in Spa. So that's a victory in Spa. And it's a P2 here. Did you have a strategy into the race? Was you feeling good from the get-go? I'm sure the wet qualifying certainly threw things out of perspective. Give you a bit of trouble.
Yeah, qualifying was the wets were alright for me. I decided to go for 2 flying laps. But I only managed to get P9 before the slicks. So I just needed to find some pace. I improved by like 3.9 seconds and I was celebrating. I thought I got pole then. Racer took provisional. Then Nasula took it. I wanted to be the last car out of track because that's where the track's going to be the best. But we said then I think that quality was pretty good for me getting on the second row and yeah, just having the pace today.
Oh, might indeed. At first, it looked like it was going to be an Alpha Tauri 1-2 in qualifying until the order got absolutely shuffled by Racer and then Nasula with some absolute powerbomb laps in the final part of the qualifying session when the track was at the best. Like you said, during the race itself, you had a good few laps in the first stint trying to chase down Nasula, and then all of a sudden, the gap just opened up. Would you say was it more Nasula's pace just opened up a bit better, or was you struggling with tyre temps, tyre deg, anything spicy you could throw in there?
He just had so much pace today. My tires were falling off. The deg was higher than I expected. To, for example, other league races that I've done recently, the deg was so much higher than expected. Um, I think I should have been more aggressive. Used more of my ERS. I was more conserving my ERS. If I was more aggressive, possibly I could have made it into P1 and try and defend the position. But I was less aggressive today, which isn't normally me, if everyone in the EU3 knows. Um, but every time, like for example, I went for the undercut, came back, it was 3 seconds the gap was, and then it moved down significantly because of back markers. I tried making a move into turn 3, but Nasula made the move and I had to back off through that, which then made me lose loads of time trying to get past the Alfa Romeo. And then since then, he just kept getting a gap, 5 temps, then 8 temps, then it goes to a second. Then I managed to get some pace back, then it went back and forth. When he got the 3 second, I tried to make the advantage of it, but I just lost so much time and my tyres were just too much deg on the tyres. It was on 70% at the end of the race, so that's how much I was trying to push.
Yeah, well, we could see that trying to maintain the gap and trying to catch the faster car in front when Nasula was just on point all race, absolutely blitzing it. But it was a very good race from yourself, mate. Grabbing the second place on the podium. It's fantastic for you, buddy. Great points.
Yep, cheers, mate.
Moving on to racer 001, P3. Good points and maintaining the lead of the EU3 Championship. It's a good race, mate. Do you want to give us your run through of that?
Yeah, that was. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was Maxim with the start involved. It's always a hard place to be P2. I didn't get the bestest reactions off the start, and I've done this so many times around that one. Being on the outside, I didn't know if Twitch Caxel would be aggressive around the outside, and I just, with the championship in mind, I've seen it so many times, especially when you're that inside. If someone turns in on you, you can just spin out, and I was very conservative into that turn one. In fact, Al Manic also went around the outside, and there was a bit of contact, but it was just one of those things. I just wanted to make it round turn one, and to be honest, ultimately, it's what made me in a P3 position. I think today with the pace, if I wasn't behind that group, I think P2 could have been in the shout, definitely, because we lost a lot of ground that first stint with that group. But I wasn't really targeting P1. I knew Almanic's my main championship rival. As long as closest championship rival, as long as I can beat him, we're coming into the final stretch of races, the final quarter of the season. So that was my aim. It was like, okay, if I can't get to these top two, that's fine. As long as I can get P3. And it worked my way. I could see that first stint was just me about being calculated. The guys who were using their energy let them through. The McLaren guys were working well together. And then, but Deg was very good. So at the end of each stint, or end of the medium stint, it was really good. The McLarens just fell off. Yeet Mix was doing really well on the soft, but the other McLaren, who was on the mediums like I was, he all of a sudden just lost a lot of time. I don't know if he got damage from hitting a curb, but he didn't have the pace at all in the last 5 laps of the first stint on the mediums. And then in the softy as well, he had no pace whatsoever. So yeah, it was not getting involved. I knew the DRS train, I was kind of stuck with that group. And then once Almanic and Yeet Mix had a bit of a moment in turn one, I was able to take advantage of both of them, and go from there. The second stint on the softs was nice overtakes, getting through the guys who were on the mediums, and then it was just hunting down, just having fun really. Just the car felt so good today. I knew I wasn't going to have enough time to catch Twitch. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable race today. Good. I'm glad with my racecraft, and I'm really happy to get more points and extend my lead in the championship.
Fantastic stuff, mate. It was a fantastic race from yourself, but again, like you say, you was very conservative in turn one and lap one, and we did see you drop quite far down the order. I think you got down into P4 or 5 at one point coming out of turn one.
Yeah, it was P4. I lost 2, but it was just that's the thing. If I'd got pole today, it was only a few hundredths, and the lap wasn't perfect in quali, but I'm sure everyone was in the same boat with that one-off lap. If I'd started on pole, being on the outside, it would have been better. And who knows? I think Nisila ultimately was the fastest guy on track.
Yeah,
may have been close enough to be within 3 seconds of him. I think today I could have possibly, with everything that happened, I could have maybe. It would have been very close between him and
very close for the win.
We lost a lot of time in that first with the battling that was going ahead. I knew we were losing time, so that's where I lost it in the first sector. But it was great. It was great car, great setup, and very happy to come and keep consistency with points and being another podium.
It was a great race run from yourself and maintaining the driver's lead from EU3 last season, EU3 champion this season, EU3 championship leader with a championship in sights. It's a story, isn't it? It's like writing the story of a future Tier 1 champion. Started
Wow.
from 4, 3, 2. What's next?
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's. I'm sure someone has done back to back from in some sort of tier 3 to tier 2. I'm sure it happened in the past, but for myself to win my first championship, I've done this race league for so many years now and so many seasons. To win my first championship last season, albeit tier 4, was really good, and I'm really happy so far this season as well. It's been a longer season, but yeah, really happy so far.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Again, congratulations on the victory, and I think we're good enough to call it there. It's been a very good race indeed. Spicy action, interesting stuff. We are now at the stage where the AM3 is involved. The American tier is now involved. It doesn't happen on a Monday, it happens on a Tuesday. Our boys, our friends across the pond starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. That will be your next racing action for this evening. But other than that, I think we can end it on a high, though. It's been a very good race and very interesting, spicy stuff, keeping the championship going. Thank you and good evening. Good night. Have a good one.